Nice to have you guys come in for Core and Restore. It's a little offset. We do have people here live with us today, so you'll be able to kind of do it. People are waving and saying hi to each other quietly. Anyway, if you do have a band, grab a band. You can use a lighter band like this yellow band or a heavier band, but you don't want to go too heavy, just so you don't like. It's mostly the use of a band for this type of stuff is mostly for connection to movement, not necessarily to drive the movement itself, because this isn't designed to necessarily be overly a strength class, but to develop the movement skill and the connection to your core. So we'll start today. Go ahead and start at the top of your mat and bring your feet together so your shoulders are back over your hips. Not a bruise on my toe. You know, you just get bruises sometimes and you have no idea where they come from. There we go. Take your arms up and over your head reach. Get long in your back body. Feel that length all the way up the back line. Exhale, take your arms back down. Inhale, take your arms up and over your head. And then exhale, take your arms back down. How am I doing on time, okay? Okay, good. Inhale, take your arms up and over your head reach. Exhale, let your arms go down. Draw your chin to your sternum. Roll yourself forward. Feeling the rolling over the top of those hips. And then roll yourself back up. Just roll the shoulders back. And then again, drop the chin to your chest. Roll yourself forward. Pull your rib cage in. Let your pelvis stay level as long as you can. And then let your pelvis roll over the top of your legs. And then roll yourself back up. One more time. Inhale, exhale, draw your chin towards your sternum. Roll yourself forward. Hands down on the ground, bend your knees, and just bring yourself back into an all fours position. Hands and knees, shoulders are back. As you can, curl your toes, pull your shoulders away from your ears, lift your tailbone, lift your chest. Exhale, round the back chin towards your sternum. Inhale, lift the tailbone, lift the chest. Exhale, round the back, ribs towards your back, chin towards your sternum. Inhale, lift your tailbone, lift your chest. And again, exhale, round the back, chin towards your sternum. Keep that back rounded, pull the knees off the ground. Hold 10, 9, 8. Really work the rounded. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and down. Inhale, lift the tailbone, lift the chest. Exhale, round the back, chin towards the sternum. Inhale again, lift the tailbone, lift the chest again. Keep that chest nice and high, pull those shoulders back, and lift the knees off the ground for 10, 9, 8, 7. Head is forward, chest is forward, shoulders are back, tailbone is up. 3, 2, and then down. Draw the chin towards the sternum, round the back, chin in, push the ground away. Inhale again, lift to lengthen. Exhale again, round the back, pull the tailbone between the legs. Exhaling, lift the knees off the ground, and then just begin a little rock back and forth. Keep that round there. Really pull into the belly. Keep the knees close to the ground. Do 3, 2, and last one. Knees to the ground. Inhale, lift the tailbone, lift the chest. Exhale, round the back, chin towards the sternum. Once more, inhale, lift the tailbone, lift the chest. Keep the head and chest forward, pull those elbows in, lift the knees off, and just a nice, simple rocking. Head forward, chest forward, eyes forward. Good. Do 5 more. 4, 3, 2, and last one. Drop those knees. Once again, exhale, round the back, chin towards the sternum. Inhale, lift the tailbone, and lift the chest. Good. Go ahead and bring the feet out in front. Feet to the top of your mat. Chest is lifted, body's nice and long, shoulders are back. Let the chin drop to the sternum and just roll yourself back. So same idea as we just did. As you're standing there, watch that your shoulders don't just cave in. Think of the movement as beginning at the pelvis, coming into the navel, settling into the rib cage. Let the shoulders, without getting too bound up into the front of the body, but you let the back round can kind of expand. Chin towards the sternum. Inhale, lift the tailbone, lift the chest. And again, chin in towards the sternum without the head necessarily dropping. Lift the tailbone, lift the chest. Once more, exhale, round. And then inhale, lift the tailbone, lift the chest. Good. Sweep the hips underneath you. Roll yourself all the way back into the mat. Hands down by your side. And again, let's round the back. So you're coming into a tilt of the pelvis. So the pelvis is slightly tilting towards the ground. And then exhale, tuck the pelvis. And again, inhale, lift the rib cage a little bit. And then exhale, tuck the pelvis. You'll feel the rib cage dropping. Now place your hand on your rib wall to kind of connect into the ribs. I want to differentiate, and I want you to really just work on using the pelvis, not really using the mid-back to move the pelvis. So keep the hand, or at least as an intention, keep the hands on the rib wall and tuck and tilt the pelvis. So this is a much smaller movement than we were doing before as the cat-cow kind of movement. Feel that range of motion in the lower part of the back. Think of that length. As you actually tilt, you're going to get length, and as you tuck, you get a little bit more of a curling or compression. 2 more, tilt and tuck. And then last time, go into that tilt, and then into the tuck. Bring your right knee and left knee to a tabletop position. Let your arms go out wide, but not quite to a T. Breathing, and I want you to try to tilt and then tuck also. So you're going to bring your knees into your chest. That's your tuck. And then tilt, drop your tailbone. Your feet are going to move away. It's going to pull against the lower back. And then again, bring your knees into your chest. So you're pulling your pelvis in. It takes a lot more work to bring those knees into the chest by tucking, and then let your tilt happen without going into too much arch into your rib cage. But let the pelvis do the work, and let the abdomen then have to work to pull the knees back into position. 2 more. Go ahead into your tuck and tilt, and then last time into your tuck and tilt. Go ahead and drop your feet to the ground. Shoulders are back into the ground. Feet relatively close together. Lift the hips up, making sure the back is nice and long, and then drop the hips back down. So here you're not rounding your back. You want to try to maintain kind of a neutral spine, meaning no more tuck than tilt as best you can. And then drop the pelvis down, lift the hips up, drop the pelvis down. About 4 more here. Think about letting those hips come up kind of high without getting into a rounded back. And as you drop, try not to just arch your back. You get your tailbone to tuck first. See if you can lower the back almost as a whole. 2 more, lift the hips and lower. And last time, lift the hips up and hold. Let that chin sink into the sternum. Feel that length in the back of the neck. And again, you're going to tilt a little bit more and tuck. Now, this is a harder position because you're high in the extension. So I want you to let that pelvis kind of slightly drop, and then let the pelvis tuck towards the head. You're going to feel quadriceps contraction. So kind of an arch, and then a tuck 1 more time, and then a tuck, and then drop back. Good. Just take your feet wide away from each other, and drop those knees to your right and left. Good, and just kind of release any tension that built up in your lower back. A couple more times, right and left. Finding time to kind of find and kind of notice where those kind of gummed up areas maybe are in your hips. 2 more times to each side. And last time. Good. So if you have a band, go ahead and grab it. Place that band above the knees. Kind of always reminds me of putting a pair of, I went to high school and we had to wear dresses, and we had to wear nylons under dresses because that's what good girls did, I guess, for some reason. I don't know. But so you had to like pull these things on. Ugh. I'm so glad that I wear tights all day long now for professional. and it's kind of the same thing. I've just exchanged a see-through pair of tights for an opaque pair of tights. All right, so feet together, knees slightly separate, and then lift the hips up. And you're just going to hold. So pull the knees away from each other. As you hold there, just hold for 15, 14. Squeeze those glutes. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, keep those knees apart, drop your hips, lift your hips back up. Really notice the glutes. As you're pressing slightly into that band, you can feel the outer part of the glute kind of have to show up. Maybe one knee wants to kind of give in and then come back out. So the band itself is not really doing a lot unless you have a heavy band only, but you're really just trying to notice is one glute kind of disengage at some point. Do 3 more, lift the hips, gently lower the hips back down. 2 more, lift the hips, gently lower the hips. Last time, hold the hips up, breathing, bring the feet to parallel, and then drop the hips again. You've got 10 more. Lift the hips up. Watch that the knees now kind of bouncing in and out. Notice if one leg's trying to do more work than another. You've got 5 here. Here's 4 more. And 3, 2, and last one. Hold up. Bring those feet back together just so they touch at the arches, and then slowly lower back down. Good. Turn to your side. Side plank kind of, but it's going to be on your knees, and you're going to lift those hips up. Keep that top knee elevated so your feet are kind of touching kind of at the arches, and hold. Drop your right hip to the ground and lift. Try not to let the knees close. With the heavier band, the knees are going to more easily close. Drop the hip, lift the hip, keep that top knee up. You've got 4 more. Good. 3, keep your hips kind of pushed forward. 2, and last one, hold up, and this time you're going to lift and lower just that top knee. 10, 9, bring your head back. 8, don't extend your neck back because it tightens your hamstring. Woo! 3, or look at anybody. 2, and last one, and then down, and then swoop to the other side. Wow. So you may notice that those glute meads are kind of like going, oh yeah, we don't really have to do as much work normally. The big old glute max just shows up and just kind of leads the show most of the time. So again, knees in line with the hips, hips lift, press down into the arm, lift that top knee, hold it there, and just hold, and then drop your hips in, keeping that top knee elevated. 3, keep your shoulders back. 4, 5, really work that top knee, really get that top knee up. You should find that that top knee is about to cramp or hip. 3, 2, and last one. Lift that hip up, hold, drop the top knee, and lift for 10. Hold 9, really work the opening. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, good. 2, keep that bottom hip lifted, last one, and then drop back down again. Swing back to the first side. There's a smile on your face, you're like, I'm done. But watch this, so this is like a good roller. If you kind of roll around on those glutes, it kind of feels good on your butt. And so that kind of that tension that got built is kind of like, these guys are all liking that so much. So we'll do it again.
Oh, goody.
Yeah. Time like the present, because you won't.
Goodness.
I know you won't repeat this at home.
Nope. That's for sure.
Lift those hips again. Ow. Top knee lifted. Good. Hold 10, 9, 8, 7. Hips forward. Push your hips forward. Little boys to men or whatever that. There's groups that do that. 3,
Wow.
2, and then top knee and down. You know, boy band moves, right? 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one, and down. And then switch to the other side. And then again, lift up, hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and top knee moves. Lift that top knee, hips forward, push towards the front of your mat, keep your head back. 4 more, 3, 2, and last one. Good. And then drop your hips down. Good. Wow. Go and take that band off. And then come into all fours again. Let's just come into that cat-cow position. Toes are curled under. Exhale, round the back, chin towards your sternum. Inhale, lift the tailbone, lift the chest. Once more like that, just round back. If you want to do more than that, that's fine. And then lift the tailbone, lift the chest. Now exhale, round the back, chin towards the sternum. Pull the rib cage in. Now just lift the tailbone and tuck the tailbone. Don't move the rib cage. Tuck the tailbone and lift. Keep those ribs tight to the body. Tuck the tailbone and then lift. 2 more. Tuck the tailbone and lift. Last time, tuck the tailbone and lift. Keep the ribs tight to the body and then tuck the tailbone again and lift. Don't let the rib cage drop. Breathe deep into the belly. 2 more. Tuck the tailbone and lift. Last time, tuck the tailbone and lift. Good. Grab your band, place it on the ball of across the arches of your feet. So the reason for all that pelvic movement is really to notice kind of where your pelvis kind of goes off. Do you use your rib cage to kind of act like your pelvis? And there's a lot of movement here in your rib wall. Do you let your shoulders do more rounding than they need to? So you want to try to define the movement patterns so you can see what other movement patterns are taking over. And then you can see why you have limitations in areas because you're just constantly go to the same well. Stop going to that well, guys. It's not good. The water's not good there. Okay? Move on. Go to the next well. The water's better at that next well. Feet under there. Good. So, knees about the same width as your feet. Watch that your heels don't just kind of droop in. You want to have those feet wide because you want to feel that, again, those outer hips. Breathing. Hold here and just lift and then go back and forth. Just like at the beginning, breathing back and forth. You've got 5, 4, 3, 2, head forward, chest forward. Last one, hold, pause for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and down. Bird dog, reach out right arm, left leg, and in, left arm, right leg. Full extension through the glute. As you press back, notice as your toe want to turn out to give in so the glute doesn't have to steady and stabilize. Running, walking, hiking, cycling, it takes a hip stability to do so. So you want to find balance between the opposite shoulder and hip so the hip isn't overreaching or turning to kind of get out of the move. Reaching, do 4 more each side, and 3, and 2, and last one. Good. Go ahead and take the band off of your feet. You're going to put the band onto your left wrist. Now, because some of you have a heavier band, this is going to be quite challenging. But you'll work it out. You'll work it out. I mean, if you don't, just take the band off. So, you're going to take this band we've done this before, we've taken the band outwards, so laterally away. What I want you to do is, as your opposite leg goes back, you're actually going to pull back so you can hook this around your hand if you have a hard time holding it in place. You're going to do a kind of a row with that one hand, okay? So you're hooking it around your hand because you got to hook it around something, and then you're going to row with the opposite hand. Yes? Sorta? If you want to hook it around the thumb, you can. Or if you want to change that position to work better for you, you can in some other way. So again, head forward, chest forward, and then again, you're just going to move with your left leg and your right hand. So as your left leg goes out, your right hand kind of rows to your rib cage. Pull up and back down. Pull up and back down. Exhale. Just different information than that lateral pull. Do 4 more. Pull back. whatever it wants to do, because it doesn't have any controls on it like a band. 2, and last 1. And then switch sides. So again, hook it around your wrist, your thumb, someplace where it'll stay in position. And kind of slightly put your hand on it so it just kind of gets pushed into the ground. And again, you'll pull with your left and reach with your right leg. And inhale, exhale, pull up and reach back. Pull up and reach back. Keep that head and chest up as best you can. Do 4 more. Pull back. And 3, reach through the heel. And 2, and last 1. Good. And then come back in. Good. Come back on your back. Put the band again on the ball of the feet or the arches. And then we're going to lay back on the ground. So on the ground, just kind of square everything up again. God, nature came into my life just for a second. I think I had the blast shields on, so I didn't get it in the eyeball. And it wasn't a splatter, just a leaf, but it still freaks you out. All right, so you're safe at home, guys. So right here, flex the feet so they stay connected. You're only going to move your right arm and left leg again. Right arm goes overhead and then back in line. Right arm and then left leg goes out and back together. I don't want you to move your left arm and right leg at this point. Breathing, pull and then back in. Pull and back in. Do 4 more and back in. Watch that that right shoulder doesn't hike, but you're only taking that right arm just till you pretty much lose your right hand in your eye line. Do 3 more. Keep those ribs down as your pelvis moving. Can you control any tilting of your pelvis as you allow that left leg to move out? Last one here. And then together. Just drop the feet for a second. Chin again towards your sternum. Legs come back up. Arms both back up. Pack those shoulders tight so you engage those lats. And then left arm and right leg. Now that left arm or that free side is going to want to move nice and fast. Breathing. And you want to try to not just let the arm just flop to the ground. Control this and slow. Breathing. Remember, your right arm is connected mechanically to your left hip. Breathing and left to your right. Do 2 more. And last one. Reach out and then back. Good. Take the band off of your feet. Place it around your left wrist. And you're going to kind of do the same thing but in a diagonal. So if you need to place it around the thumb so it has something to pull against, do that. So again, arms are angled slightly towards your knees to start, and you're going to pull back towards the ground with your right elbow and then release back in line. Now you're working to not move that left shoulder out of position, and you're working again to not let that left leg move faster than that right leg or right arm can move. Notice I'm not moving my right knee at all. Do 4 more. Exhale, pull down as you reach out. And 3. And 2. And last one. Pull down. And back up. Good. Switch sides. Bring those knees back up. Pack those shoulders in. And reach out. Right leg and left arm. Remember, your arm is just moving kind of down at a diagonal, and your arms are kind of at an angle to begin with. So you're pulling your elbow away from your opposite hand. You've got 5 more. Keep that right arm tight. So my right shoulder has a little bit more challenge than my left shoulder did as instability. 3 more. 2 more, and then last one. Good. So if you notice, you might have noticed that the right shoulder that stabilized was more challenged for me than my left shoulder that was moving, and it was more consistent on the other side. So I just know that means my right shoulder just has more instability problems. It's not broken or anything like that. It just doesn't pay attention the same. But remember, right shoulder and left hip work together. So that means there's some issues for me across that diagonal line that I just have to be aware of so I don't overuse one side and underuse another. That's all that means. It's a nice way to kind of test your movement. All right, so let's just go to a regular dead bug. Arms are out, kind of in line with those knees. Reach your right arm overhead as your left leg extends out, kind of like a saw. Key movement on the dead bug is not letting the lower back arch, so keeping that tailbone nice and tucked. We'll increase the intensity now by picking up the head, reaching out, right arm and left leg, left arm and right leg, nice and long. So notice all this work: pelvis, shoulders, key movement areas of the back. Last one, like this, and then legs go straight. So right arm and left arm and right. If you need to lower your head, do so. Whoops. When I not move the arm, it doesn't need to move. 2 more each leg. Last one's here, each leg. Good. And then bend the knees, bring your knees into your chest, and let's just stir the knees in a circle. Breathing. And then stir the knees around in the other direction. Good. Go ahead and bring those knees into center. Drop your left foot, cross your right ankle over your left. Now here it's easy to kind of hike that right hip up, as your left hip is actually a little lower right here. So place your left hand on that crease where your pelvis kind of meets your thigh, and then place your right hand on the crease of the inside of that right knee. So your hips don't want to move, so you can feel if there's any movement in the left or right hip. So you're pressing outward with your right hand at the knee, kind of downward just as a connection point with your left hand on your thigh. Breathing, keep your right foot flexed. Breathing, see if you can push a little bit more, kind of encourage a little bit of disobedience, let's say. Breathing, and then release. Just a gentle release in that figure 4 stretch. Left leg over the right. Right hand is in that crease right below where the pelvis meets the thigh. Left hand in the crease where the knee and meets the calf. And you're going to press out with that with that left hand, and then down and away with that right. Breathing. Watch for any kind of movement in the pelvis. Either too much work on your left hand, not enough work on your right side. Relax the glutes. Breathe. And then release. Go ahead and release that left leg down. Feet are wide, maybe about mat's width, and drop both knees to your right and left. Get nice and mobile in those hip joints. Good. Bring your knees up. Still continuing to move right and left, but keep those shoulders now very anchored to the ground. See how low you can get your knee down. So your arms aren't quite at a T, but they aren't necessarily also down by your sides. They're kind of at a low or a droopy T. Breathing. Feel that kind of that stretch from your right shoulder all the way across the midline of your body. Go slow as you bring the knees back up. One more time to each side. Good. Hold the knees when they come up. Pick your head up, and you're going to roll all the way. Keep looking over your right shoulder. If you roll to your right, look, you're looking behind you. Lift your head up, look towards your left shoulder. Bring your knees up, and let's roll all the way to the other side and look over that shoulder, like you're looking back behind you. And then look up towards the sky. Come up, keep that head off the ground the entire time, chin towards your sternum. Look up first, eyes move, head moves, body moves that follow. all the way. Really turn that head in opposition to the way the knees are going. Rotate all the way. Look way behind you. Look up and rotate. Almost done. All the way over. And then all the way back to center. Head back. Chin into your sternum. Let those knees come in. Exhale, bring your head to your knees. Good. Lower your head back down. Take one arm overhead, roll to that side. Just lay on your side for a moment. Good. And then we're going to come all the way up. So thanks for joining us here for Core and Restore. Got a little bit of pelvic movement. I'm going to continue on here just in an in-person session. And I hope you have a great day. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great day. Bye, guys.